Mm. Hmm. 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 Oh, wait. Oh, back up. Yeah. I'm gonna need you here. And we're gonna need some of you in here. Feel. Maybe sipping you in a few. Right here. Ooh-wee. And let that prep. And get back to this goodness. Oh, wow. Let's just say this is a tasty meal. Ah. Ooh-wee. Ooh. Birria tacos from let's just say this taco spot by Family Dollar. And if you know where, go and get you some there, because this is tasty. Hmm. 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 So I figured that the world must be smart enough to realize people's behavior, and even smarter than that, from observing people's behavior, they must feel inclined to look into people's lives, to make sure that well, they at least have the capacity of making sense of what they may be perceiving, So well, everything's really self-explanatory, That was 2 phases right there. Here's my happy self, eating self, focused in my own presence. Hmm. So I become like the third wheel in my own life, Now my mind does its own thing, my heart does its own thing, and I'm just like the guy in the middle. I'm like, hey, I used to be the one fighting for the mind all the time. And then, hey, I used to be the one fighting for the heart all the time. And now I'm just here, just watching them fight their own fight. Not that there's any fight. I mean, they live in peace, We're about as close as they can get to any chaos, You know what I've noticed? There's like 2 different presence of mine, There's like my mentally embodying my body presence. And then there is my surfing the web of thought side that's present, but it doesn't look that way. Like even I have critical judgment of myself whenever like I analyze this side of myself. And I notice because it became more sharp in my behavior and my characterization and my acting and my performing it was magnified. So I know this fact for a fact. I almost feel like somebody had a background story or a narrative, and they've been like fighting, doing, you know, whatever they could, tooth and nail, just to try to keep the narrative alive behind to the reasoning why people space out. I call it surfing the web of mind, you know, or finding my attention on myself so I could focus on any energetic disruptions that might be trying to make their way from my spirit body onto my physical one, thus causing not only the placebo effect, you know, where I think there's something wrong that isn't wrong, or, you know, the pursuit of something that then may lead to something thus more correlated to the perception's original point of view. So it just varies, you know. And I've learned that my body's like a wave that has to keep crashing onto a shore, you know. And if I get in the way of that wave, well, let's just say there is no way to get in the way of that wave whatsoever, you know. There is just that thing that tries to get in the way of that wave, you know. But that wave can never be stopped, ever. So with that being said, this here perception of your alteration in concept and thought, live, as I'm telling the story, you get me? So, like I said, you know, this wave can never be stopped, you know. So the constant notion of everything that has attempted to use a wave effect to correlate whatever truth, whatever relative information may seem conducive for the happenings of circumstances taking place in a moment, you know. So I had intention and purpose when I started this, and now it's shifting and being magnified, you know. It's like going from a mindset of calmness to all of a sudden I go to a mindset where a predator is what I'm being weary of. And not only weary of, but it's a double-edged sword. The more you learn about the predator, the more you become like the predator. You know? So here I am constantly having this mind turning to the predator. Where's the predator coming from? How's he going to get you? What's he going to do now? Now think about it. Now feel it. Now react. You know? And that's been like the constant play here. So if society supports us and takes care of us, but they only bring us up until this point, like, what does that mean? Does that mean we're empowering others to promise more than they can promise to, or more than they can fulfill? Or what's going on? Because I'm right here perfectly fine right now, enjoying a meal. You know, that's the best part about right now. But you guys want to sell something? Sell it away. I'm all ears right now. All right. As you can see, somebody took over my narrative there for a moment. I'm gonna have to take that back and cancel that, rebuke that, negate that, And back to where we were. I can take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and use it against the enemy. The weapons of my warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. I am anointed to preach, to teach, to heal, and to cast out devils. Luke 9:1-2. Delicious. So, let me tell you this. If any of you guys ever get haunted, let me tell you what you guys can expect. Expect that how you program your negative mind is going to be very, very important. Because where I'm at right now, I am at a point where I have programmed my bad mind to be all about and all consumed with cause, effect, and effect, results, outcome, you know? And what I've noticed is that once I got done doing that, then I started warring with real bad, or at least whatever believed itself to be really bad. I've only been able to find in them is good, but you know. So essentially, we're here like facing off in a mirror, looking at ourselves. It's just ourselves, because that's all that they can get out of us is just you. So if it's just you, because that's all they can get out of you is just you. Well, in that sense, I'm here with the only other weapon in their hands, which are the words I speak, the things I tell myself, the things that I allow for them to say and have be said around me, because that's right now my current battle. It's not just seeing how I tone my own energetic bodies in my body, my chakra, whether I peak it or whether I just drop it in tone, and where I'm carrying my sound, if I'm carrying it inside, or as their only intention is outward, projected, So if you learn how to lock your energy within you, all their tactics become nothing, because all their tactics are about drawing you out of yourself, tempting you to be somebody you're not, showing you can get results by being and acting upon the thoughts and ideas and feelings that you're currently waving to yourself, Hey, but that meal was good, and that coffee even more got a kick, dude. I was like, dang. It was soothing. So, this is kind of where I find myself, It's like, what's the only other thing God can do to find me? Especially if I said to God, man, God, whatever I say to God, and then I say, instead, bring me God's shadow, And then what happens then? You get me? So, basically, when society has weaponized and possessed themselves of your mentality of what is bad, wrong, judgmental, guilty, shameful, when they have claimed all that, the moment you go and try to claim that ground for yourself, try to feel guilt and shame and see if you don't have to fight with somebody for it. So, yeah, and you only don't realize it when you don't realize that you're fighting for it, because when you're caught in the guilt and shame, somebody's using it to control you, But the moment that you yourself drive into it, you're the one driving, so now you have to fight them for control. Does it make sense? And whatever we could do to numb ourselves, food, drinks, any recreational, management, self-management, whatever we can turn to, because apparently, like, the whole point is they want me to stay numb. So they're going to lean me more towards this side of myself. That's why people become obese. That's why people become driven by habitual living, rather than the routine of it. It's more the habit. Oh, it's a habit. Oh, it's a habit. No, you're in control. It's only when someone else has overdriven your protocol of being present in your own life and has driven and overridden your conscience, and somebody else is living for you. That's when you fight for those kind of sayings or that kind of saying, essentially. But other than that, it's just managing it. Because, think about it. If their power was in my darkness, every time I tap into my darkness, what do you think I'm going to find myself remembering? Oh, yeah, somebody was trying to rule this part of me. That's why I'm so sensitive to every time that I'm loud or annoying or when people are trying to drag it out of me. Why I get so bothered by it. Or not. It's all up to me. The whole point is being free. I just need to know, and I have to know and be in the know. And also, I got to understand the magic of my words when I've said what I've said, how I've said it. And I also got to understand the magic of what is expected and what people have actually made way for, Because I could be here trying to give out free electricity forever. But if we haven't paved paths for it, there's no one who's going to receive it, And if that's what words are being treated as, is free electricity, then somebody else decided to attack the very electricity even in our words. And we have failed to realize it. I don't know about you guys, but has anybody lived inclined to keeping the peace and being quiet? Not really radiating their true, energetic fathom. I've imagined it, it's like going Super Saiyan. What does Super Saiyan to me represent? It represents a person that can hold a state of being and not just hold it, but push it, maintain it, stabilize it at that. Yeah, it has so much in it, intricacies, but essentially, just think about it, You start off, excuse me, hello, excuse me, sir. I'm going around the block and I'm just talking to random people, and I seen you here today, and I thought maybe that I should speak to you. Is that okay? Does that resonate with you? How does that sound? How does that ring? But then being more timid, it's more like, is it okay? And so, because you're allowing yourself room to be able to gauge properly. So when you go in timid, you have a perspective to gauge from, So, yes, sir. How can I do this for you? And the guy says, look, see that trash can right there? Maybe you could just bring it out here to the trash can, man, out to the step, the curb, and there you go, man. Appreciate it, So, okay, sir, yeah. Go over there, get the trash can, bring it, boom, put it there. Now, tell the guy, appreciate, allowing me to be able to find a way to lend you a hand and help you out. Or actually, probably not in that tone, but it's more like, thank you, sir. I put the trash can on the curb. Is there anything else that I could do for you? And the man goes, nah, bud. That takes care of it, man. I really appreciate the help, hey? Thanks. Oh, and now back to character. Yes, sir. Anytime, all right? If you need something, just holler at me. I'll be around. So if I have to have that side, those things juggled, that's the timid side. The I'm just need to do a job, and I'm not here to be in trouble, believe in trouble, or think there's anyone that's gonna get in trouble. I don't even know what trouble is. I'm just here to do what I know that I can do, without beating around the bush, without knowing anything, without having to say anything other than navigate and, of course, the things that would fall into playing out. But essentially, you get me? Or am I still not being clear enough? Well, I'm learning how to gauge myself, how I feel versus how I feel that the crowd should feel about me, how I feel or feeling. And, I don't think they should think that I should be reactive to what I'm saying. I think that they should see my confident side, my side that already knows that the world basically knew this before I got here. You're going to be born and you're going to get dragged through mud. Get ready, So we're born the mud doesn't show up and we think we're okay. Life is all good. Oh, yeah, man. We're all so merry, cherry, and everything's gravy, eh? And then the mud shows up. You know? And then the person's like, not the mud. What happened? Now they say you're lazy. Now they say you're tired. Now they say you have a bad mouth. Now they say you eat too much. Now they say you don't groom enough. Now they say you don't even watch your hygiene. Now they say you're losing teeth. Now they say your hair's falling off. Now they say you got no shoes half the time. Now they say you don't even like to wear a shirt anymore. Now they say, and all of us are like, hold on, wait a minute. What? Who, what, when, where, why would one person have the power to make you feel like all people think that way? Hold up. That's warning number one, red flag number one. So, you go about your experience, essentially understanding this aspect of oneself, right? And, hold on. Well, I tried to fight for some thoughts that I was having there, train of thought I was delivering, but I'm going to have to even look forward to watching this video because unfortunately, all the things that can be said but won't be said, So I have to walk that one through again myself and figure out where I left off and pick up from there again, eh? But thanks for you guys' time. I appreciate all this, and don't worry about me, y'all. We got y'all. We all got this, There's only one way in and one way out.